Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today you are joining me in my kitchen to do a family weekly meal prep. This week for my meal prep, I'm doing things a little bit differently. I am making family-sized dinner portions for me and my family of 4, and I'm going to store them in my fridge and give you the reheating instructions, so that way if you do this at home, you can easily pop the recipes that you make into the fridge, and when you're ready to heat them up, you just have to throw them back into the oven or even into the microwave, and you will be good to go. Now, if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Olivia and I've been a type 1 diabetic for over 20 years. And in my house, I try to incorporate as many low-carb recipes as humanly possible to make living with diabetes a little bit easier. So this week, I will be making my buffalo chicken stuffed zucchini boats, and I will also be making my Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers. Both low carb, but super comforting. I am pregnant, so having low carb, easy, family-friendly options in my fridge ready for me to go for my week will be huge. So stick around to the very end. I will leave the recipes linked down below if you are interested in giving them a try yourself. And if you haven't already, give this video a big thumbs up. It helps me and my channel push out to more people. So once again, thanks for checking me out today, and I will pop back in at the very end after my recipes are shown. Enjoy. So to start today, I am making my buffalo chicken stuffed zucchini boats. And to get started, I'm gonna have to cook up these puppies. And all I did was preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to prepare these, pop them on a cookie tray, throw them in the oven, and let them bake. If you are more inclined to do so, you can boil them on the stovetop. However, I just like the nice consistency it gives the zucchini by toasting it in the oven. So if you're doing it that way, 350 degrees, or if you choose to boil it on your stovetop, you can easily do that as well for like 10 minutes once they are boiling and good to go. So all you're doing is taking zucchinis and chopping the ends off. And then you're going to do a vertical cut down the middle, just like so. So I am making 6 boats today for my family. And now I'm gonna take the middle part of the zucchini and I'm just going to cut it out. And I will save these because what I like to do is incorporate these veggies back into my filling. So my filling will be buffalo chicken today, but you can fill these however you'd like. I have filled these with taco before, the cheesesteak meat, vegetables, chicken Alfredo, all the things. And they're super diabetic friendly because if you aren't aware, zucchinis are very low carb. So always really good. So I'm going to spoon this stuff out and put it aside. It has been super hard this pregnancy because typically I like to follow a lower carb diet. But with this pregnancy, I've had a lot of trouble with that because it's been hard to keep some things down. So my go-to has been like soft pretzels, like the Philly Pretzel Factory or the Sam's Club soft pretzels. And that kind of kills me because, one, being a diabetic, Philly soft pretzels are not really the best, obviously. They're super high carb. So my sugars have been slightly all over the place. So I'm excited that I'm starting to feel a little bit better and can stomach lower carb options again. Because I know whenever I would eat a salad or if I would try to eat anything super high fiber, it would just kind of mess with my stomach. And that was not going well. So hopefully it stays that way and I can start incorporating the lower carb. Because if you're not aware, when you are pregnant, you have to keep your sugars very, very steady. They recommend between 65 and 120, at least 70% of the time, which is a lot. It's a lot. So being able to enjoy pregnancy can be kind of hard to some degree because you have to constantly watch what you're eating and watch your sugars. And it's stressful because right now you're not just worrying about yourself, you're worrying about your baby. So it's challenging. So maybe, you know, if you've had the type 1 or type 2 diabetes and went through pregnancy, to give you a lot of credit. However, I digress. I have all my zucchinis cut and spooned out. And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna drizzle it with some olive oil, sprinkle some salt and pepper on here, and I'm gonna let this bake in my oven for about 15-20 minutes until it gets nice and soft. So if you were to cut into this with a knife, it's tender, but has a still nice crisp bite to it. So let me throw this in the oven and I'll pop back in after to show you how it turns out, and I'll also show you how to make the delicious buffalo chicken filling. Now onto the filling for the buffalo chicken part. I am taking a small onion, or you can use half of a medium onion, and I'm chopping that up into small pieces. Right now, I currently have a pound, I will have a pound of ground chicken. I'm gonna cook this on the stove top. You can use whatever chicken you'd like. I personally like ground chicken in this recipe, but you can certainly shred a rotisserie chicken, or you could use canned chicken, just regular old chicken breast. And I'm gonna throw that onto my stove and cook that up. And about midway through cooking that chicken, when it's about halfway done, I'm going to toss in this onion and some chopped zucchini that I had saved from cutting out the cores. Now, one thing I do want to note is I am not using all the zucchini I poured out. I'm using about half of that because obviously the zucchini will only have so much room. I don't want to overstuff them. So the pound of chicken, the zucchini, and the onion will go into the pan and cook on up, and then I will add all of the buffalo and the cream cheese deliciousness to the end to make it super, super yummy. I have my zucchini boats out of the oven, and all I did was I put some brown rice that I seasoned with ranch seasoning at the bottom, and I layered my zucchini in my pan. They were all cooked and ready to go. And you may think it's convenient, or you may think I'm lazy, or you may think I'm smart, but I purchased these from Sam's Club in a 30 pack. They're 8x11 pans, and I also have the lids that go with them. And what I do is I meal prep for my family, put it in the fridge in these pans with the lids, and then this goes into the oven on the day I want to eat it, and we are good to go. So right here I have my ground chicken mixture with the zucchini and the onions. It is all cooked through and nice and warm. And the first thing I'm going to add is whipped cream cheese. Now you can add any cream cheese you'd like. I just prefer using the whipped cream cheese, so that way it's a little bit easier to blend in. And I'm just gonna use a nice heaping spoonful. You're almost mimicking the flavor that you would do with buffalo chicken dip. So buffalo chicken dip is cheddar cheese and the chicken, obviously, buffalo sauce, ranch dressing, blue cheese dressing. Today I will be drizzling ranch dressing on it at the very end for the grand finale. And then next I'm gonna add in the buffalo sauce. You can add in whatever sauce you like. I'm just using the Great Value mild wing sauce, but you can use any of the ones you like. One of my favorites that I like to get is the Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Wing Sauce, but this is what Walmart has, so this is what I bought. And I'm just gonna stir this all together. And this recipe just comes together that easily. And yes, this is for my family. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. I'm not anticipating they will eat this. My kids are in a stage right now where the only thing they like to eat typically are chicken nuggets and hot dogs. So I typically just try to worry about me and my husband and all of that. And then my kids will just get the nuggets or pizza or whatever I can throw. I know it's not the healthiest option for them, but I want them to eat. So now I'm going to stuff these puppies up. I'm gonna just stuff each boat with the filling, and it will be delicious. So I have the cheddar cheese mixed in there, the cream cheese, and the buffalo sauce. And it's very light on the buffalo sauce, so if I'm not feeling up to spice that day, I should still be able to stomach this mixture. And obviously you can use any sauce you'd like. I've tried this with barbecue sauce instead of buffalo before, so like a barbecue chicken stuffed zucchini boat. This is just like the easiest diabetic friendly way to enjoy comfort food in my opinion. So I love to do these zucchini boats and stuffed peppers because it's a lower carb, healthier way to enjoy food. So there we have the stuffed peppers. You can see they're stuffed to the gills. And now I'm going to top with some Mexican cheese. You can add whatever cheese you'd like. And I'm going to sprinkle, 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 just like so. And I'm going to grab my ranch dressing, drizzle that on, and I will show you the finished product. Be back in just a moment. And here we are. I have my light ranch dressing, Hidden Valley Ranch. It's one brand I am very loyal to. And I'm just gonna drizzle it right on the top. So I'm gonna throw the lid on this, throw it in my fridge, and when I'm ready to reheat this, I will preheat my oven to 350 degrees and cook this for about 30 to 45 minutes and dinner is done. Look how yummy it looks. I can't wait. Similar to the zucchini, I will also be doing cheesesteak stuffed peppers. So for this, I will not be baking them in the oven. I will be cutting them in half, taking the insides out, and I will be boiling them. I just feel like the peppers turn out better on the stove, but you can do whatever you'd like. And since these peppers are smaller, I am using 3 of them. So 6 halves in total, and I will be stuffing this with cheesesteak meat. And I am from South Jersey, so cheesesteaks are near and dear to my heart because I'm so close to Philly. And obviously, cheesesteaks are delicious. I love cheesesteaks. And I know the rivalry between Geno's and Pat's. Personally, I'm not a big fan of either of them. I like my cheesesteaks over here on the Jersey side. I very seldomly cross the bridge for a cheesesteak. Also, when I can have a low-carb version served in a pepper, I'll just do that. It is much better for my diabetes and just as delicious. So I cut the pepper vertically in half, and I'm just taking the seeds and the stem out. And I will boil these on my stove for about 5 to 10 minutes, probably closer to 5 minutes. I just want them tender. I don't want them mushy. I just want them tender. And the pepper is great because it adds to the Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak has the cheese and the ketchup and the cheese and the onions and peppers. So this is the pepper aspect, so it's perfect. So I will boil these on my stovetop for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I will show you how I make the Philly filling. It's delicious, I promise. To my Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers, and all I'm gonna do to start off is I'm preheating my pan on my stovetop, and I have a small white onion I'm going to cut up into small dices. And all I do for this recipe is I cook the onion on the stove, and until it's about half of where I want it sauteed through, I add my cheesesteak meat to the stove. And I might sound lazy to some people, I don't know, but all I use are the pre-shaved cheesesteak meat, like in the frozen section. You can purchase it at Walmart, wherever. This is the Steak-umm brand that I really love. And I will cook about 10 slices of that on the stove with the fried onion. And I will fry all of that up, and I will season it with this seasoning. So it's very similar to the Lowry's all-purpose seasoning. This is the Morton's all-purpose seasoning, and I just have found that this makes the best cheesesteak flavor. So if you do not have Lowry's, I would try the Morton's, but it's delicious. So I'm gonna get started by sauteing my onion up, and once it's nice and sauteed, I'm going to add my Steak-umm's meat as well as my seasoning, and I'm going to cook it until everything is tender and cooked all the way through. I wanted to pop in real quick, my onion is sauteing. I'm not sure if you guys have seen these Steak-umms before. So they come packaged like this, and there's multiple steaks in there that are separated by paper, and they are thin little steaks. So if you come in here, you're just gonna take the paper off, and they have like a little thin steak that you can see how thin they are. Yeah, like super thin. So I'm probably gonna use this whole chunk for this recipe. I just wanted to pop in and show you guys what to expect. So if you went out and bought this to try it yourself, you kind of knew more what you wanted to do with it. And with this specifically, I like to break it into chunks. So I break up each thin piece into little chunks, and I throw it into my pan, and we're good to go. So I will add this to my pan with a generous amount of this seasoning, and we will be good. So here is the beef and the onions almost all cooked through. I am going to drain this grease off. As you can see, there's a lot down there. So I'm gonna drain that into my sink and then generously season it up. I just wanted to show you what the steak meat looks like all cooked up. It just looks like cheesesteak meat, obviously. In the beginning, kind of looks weird between the paper and all of that, but I wanted to pop in and show you guys, but also show you how greasy it can get. So you definitely want to drain this off before adding the rest of the ingredients. So I just wanted to show you guys that. My cheesesteak meat is finishing up on the stove. It has another minute left. I just wanted to show you guys what my step is from here. So once the onions and the meat are all cooked through, I turn the stove off and I add 4 slices of processed American cheese. But you can add whatever cheese you'd like. But I have found that the Velveeta slices melts the best. So all I do is I take them out of the plastic, throw them in the pan, put the lid back on top, and once it's melted, I just stir it all together. So I'll show you guys what it looks like all stirred together, and I promise you, This may not be everyone's cup of tea, but in this meal, it's almost necessary to do it this way. Okay, so here's my cheese all melted up. You can see the 4 slices I put on there, and I'm just gonna stir this whole mixture together. And this cheese just blends in so perfectly and melts in with the meat and the onions. And it's not clumpy, it's just very smooth, and it really does remind me of a traditional Philly cheesesteak. So here it is, all stirred in together. And here are my peppers. Look how beautiful they look. And just like my buffalo chicken boats, I have some rice at the bottom. And I'm just going to take my mixture and stuff each zucchini with this mixture. And this is just such a nice comfort classic. I love cheesesteaks. I just love them. I love making wraps out of them. And this is just such a nice comfort dinner. My kids might eat this one actually. They might. Because I have seen them eat cheesesteak meat before, so maybe I'll get lucky and they will give this one a try. And there we have it. And that amount of meat I made was perfect. And it really does smell like Philly cheesesteak up in here. So now I'm going to I'm going to top it off with more cheese. I'm using the Mexican cheddar blend because that is what I like, but you can do whatever you like. And the last thing I am doing is I am just going to drizzle regular old ketchup on top of this. Now you could use hot sauce if you'd like, but I thought for this, I just wanted to use some ketchup. It just adds a nice little flavor profile to this dish. Super easy and super delicious, and I will show you guys the finished product. So super comfort classic for a delicious dinner for me and my family. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe today. Well, as I promised you guys in a few videos back, I will do my best to continue on my weekly meal prep videos. They might not always look the same as they used to, but I will do my best to bring you guys more diabetic friendly hacks that I use in my kitchen for me and my family. I hope you guys really enjoyed these videos today of me filming my meal prep for me and my family. And if you did, give this video a big thumbs up, and I will continue every weekend to try my very best to post weekly for my meal preps. So stick around and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more diabetic and meal prep content just like this. I apologize guys, I'm a little rusty at this. I am doing my best to jump back into filming with both feet, so just bear with me. Anywho, I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see you guys in my next video.